If you win this competition, you get to bring home a pig head. They have a pet chicken. The Chinese New Year feast is in progress. This is life 25 kilometers from the Myanmar border.
Happy Chinese New Year, everyone, from Yunnan!
I'm Katherine, an American living in China, and every year I spend Spring Festival in a different province. I've seen dragon dances, lion dances, deity parades, rice turtles, crafts shows, crazy explosions, temples piled with offerings, and the list goes on. This year, I decided to mix things up a bit and spend Chinese New Year in Lancang, an obscure region of Yunnan just a few kilometers from the border with Myanmar. My boyfriend and I showed up here completely clueless about what we might encounter, and it ended up being a Chinese New Year like no other. Lancang is remote and mountainous and not accessible by train, so we took a bus to reach it. Our Chinese New Year in Yunnan story begins right here in the bus station.
Something I found very interesting about this bus station was the jewelry store. So if you're on your way back to your hometown for Chinese New Year and you forgot to get a gift, well, the bus station has you covered. You can get yourself a little pendant of your Chinese zodiac animal. It's not cheap. These puppies are 2,600 renminbi. 这边生意好吗？在大巴站啊？
还可以。
我第一次在大巴站看这么奢侈的店铺啊。
We showed up ridiculously early because all the tickets were sold out for Chinese New Year, and we literally could not miss this bus.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the bus station. Silence.
For the early birds, there are several restaurants to choose from. There are massage chairs. Hey, there's even a reading zone that is hanging on by a thread. We leafed through some ancient scrolls from the 2010s until it was time to get on our bus.
Look how much stuff they're gonna cram onto that little tiny van.
We're off. Someone on this bus has birds with them, but I can't see who it is and I can't see the birds, but I can hear the birds. I know there are birds in this bus right now. I swear I can hear them. See? I'm telling you, there are birds in here. Somebody brought birds in the bus. This is Yunnan. Midway through the ride, we stopped in this random village for a rest. There were chickens and geese everywhere, local fruit for sale, and even dinner for anyone who wanted it. Dinner is over, we're back on the bus. Still in there. I finally found the birds. And just after sunset, we arrived in Lancang. Take note of the piles and piles of Chinese New Year gifts brought by the bus passengers. It is just a couple days before Chinese New Year, and basically any shop that is selling any sort of food has piles and piles and piles of Chinese New Year gift boxes outside. Another classic Chinese New Year item is fireworks. Of course, you won't see these if you're in a major city, but if you spend Chinese New Year in a small town or rural area, prepare for a lot of noise.
这么点儿，是呗。
The next morning, before heading up into the mountains, we went for a stroll in the local market. We admired the adorable bags that many of the locals, even the men, are carrying, and we got some blueberries for the road. We even stumbled into the rehearsal of a Chinese New Year pageant.
That's so cute. 你们练了多久呀？这个表演？
练了好几天了。
Then we headed to Jingmai Mountain, which is shared between 5 different ethnic groups and is known for its ancient tea fields, wooden houses on stilts, and ridiculously friendly people. We'll be spending Chinese New Year Eve in Noan, a village of the Dai people, who are known for their water splashing festival and their Southeast Asian-looking architecture. Then we'll head further into the mountain and spend the rest of the holiday in Nanjing village with the Wa people, who I'll tell you about later. For now, let's check out Noan.
It is January 27th right now. Chinese New Year is 2 days away, and we are staying in this traditional wooden village. Let me show you guys the view off the balcony. How cool is this place? Okay, let me show you guys the room that we're staying in. It's in a traditional wooden house of the Dai people. There's even a sign here warning you that you might encounter some creatures during your stay. Do not be alarmed. We are living in nature right now. So let me show you the room. I love the coat hangers. They're made out of sticks. So yeah, don't expect any like super luxurious situation, but I'm content. This is super cute. Now we're gonna go down and show you guys around the little village.
It was ridiculously cold outside, despite how far south this place is, and many of the locals were sitting around fire pits. The moment we started our walk, a friendly family invited us to sit around the fire and have tea with them. And who can say no to that?
This is better than any milk tea shop in the city, that's for sure. And it's just a lovely afternoon hanging out in this village, waiting for Chinese New Year. Also hang out with this chicken. This is their pet chicken.
I don't know what it is about this chicken that made it worthy of not being eaten while all the other ones get eaten.
They told me that it's because he looks good and he should be shown off to the world or whatever. It's actually not just their family that has a pet chicken. I saw 4 or 5 of them throughout my stay on Jingmai Mountain. And it was during this lovely little chat around the fire that we met Kanlong, who offered to be our Chinese New Year guide. So the next day, which was Chinese New Year Eve, we spent the whole day with her learning about life here in Noan.
What's interesting about this family is that they actually have kept all 3 houses that they've switched to over the years. Usually families will like knock one down and build a new one, but they have kept the original old wooden house and then the concrete house that they upgraded to from that. And then here is their new house. 这个母房子你们现在还在用吗？
厨房。
This is the new section of Noan Village, so a lot of the wooden houses have already been replaced by concrete, but many of them feature wooden panels and traditional roofs, so they match the aesthetic of the old village. Now we're on our way to Kanlong's family's tea field.
我一般都是隔1-2个星期就要来茶地看看，因为我在家闲不住。走吧。
And even though it's not actually tea growing season right now, you can still come and pick crab legs.
清热解毒，然后降酸高。
1 kilogram of these crab feet plant things costs 3,000 renminbi.
Something I love so much about this place is that it's completely integrated into the local ecology. Like normally when people farm, you want all the bugs out, you want all the weeds out, the so-called weeds. You want every other plant and creature out of this space. You only want the thing that you're growing. But not here. The tea fields are completely surrounded by trees. Some of the trees are hundreds of years old. There's ferns, there's flowers, and some of the plants growing in here are actually harvested to eat anyway. No pesticides, no chemical fertilizers. It takes a little more work, but you get some quality product.
It is now the afternoon of Chinese New Year Eve, and the festivities are about to begin. They're probably a little different than whatever you're expecting it to be, but it's a festivity, okay?
蛇年大吉，小朋友。
我来，我的蓬蓬。
What exactly is she beckoning everyone to come watch?
This is the annual Chinese New Year basketball tournament.
Yeah, this was not on my spring festival activities bingo card, but Noan Village is in the final 2, so Kanlong was not gonna miss out on this. And neither were the village grandmas, who all showed up in their colorful outfits to be a part of the action.
我都没上场，我感觉我好紧张。
Noan Village won by 23 points, so it wasn't even close.
So what else is going on for Chinese New Year Eve? We're headed to Kanlong's cousin's house to get ready for dinner and have some of the local spring festival snacks, which are sticky rice patties that everyone makes and shares with their friends and family. I was even given one right before the basketball game by a random guy I met in the village.
I was just wandering along by that shop, and he was like, "Do you want some?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like,
this. It's the classic Chinese New Year snack around here, and I was offered it countless times in 4 different styles throughout my days in the Jingmai mountain area. Another tradition, which I've also seen in other parts of China, is preparing a meal for the ancestors.
Kanlong's cousin's father is in there right now, preparing some meals to leave for the ancestors on Chinese New Year Eve. He's gonna stay up all night watching over the ancestors' meal, and I guess making sure it doesn't get like eaten by mice or something. I'm not sure exactly why they do that. Part of the food from the Chinese New Year Eve dinner is reserved for the ancestors, and part is for the living. This is our Chinese New Year's Eve dinner. It is roast chicken, another chicken dish that I have no idea how to describe, sorry, cabbage soup, and like 5 different types of hot peppers that you can put on everything. The sun just went down, and now the explosions begin. So we spent the first half of Chinese New Year Eve in the new neighborhood, having dinner, watching fireworks. And now we are in the old neighborhood where there will not be any fireworks because everything here is made out of wood. Everything is ridiculously flammable, but I've seen enough fireworks for the night. We're gonna sit around the fire and have some tea. Happy Chinese New Year, everyone. Happy Year of the Snake. Good morning, everyone. It is the first day of the Year of the Snake. The grandmas are up early, sweeping up all of the firecracker mess all over the ground. And in about an hour, there is going to be a top spinning competition. There's still firecrackers going off. Check out all the carnage from last night. Firecracker scraps everywhere. The chickens are like, what is going on? Now it is time for the Chinese New Year top spinning competition. All the uncles and the grandpas are out here. Oh yeah. Wow. So yesterday when one of the local uncles told me they were going to be having this competition, I don't know what I was envisioning, like who can spin the fastest or the farthest or something, but no, it's like a battle. 他们说只有男孩子打，女孩子不打。女孩子也可以打。你咋不打呢？等会，先让老人们。这个怎么判断谁赢了呀？要看他把那个吃人的那个陀螺打死他就赢了。像这种啊，他输了那个赢了，那他的不赚了，那个还在赚。Chaos is breaking out in this village. Everywhere is the sound of little explosions going off. There's kids running around throwing stuff. The top competition is in full force over there. Everyone is flinging tops all over the place. And I've had my fill of chaos for now. So we're actually about to go hiking, and we're gonna hike up the mountain 1 hour, and we're gonna hit 2 more villages. I feel like a bug right now. Look how big these plants are. Y'all, we are about 25 kilometers away from the border with Myanmar right now, which is crazy. We are literally on the doorstep of Myanmar. Wild. This village is called Longbang and is inhabited by the Hani people, who are known for their ornate headdresses. As with literally everywhere else in the entire country on the first day of the new year, the kids were running around throwing mini firecrackers. We were invited for tea by a group of men, and as it turned out, tea actually meant alcohol and cigarettes, but it was fun to chat with them anyway. 他戒烟了，谢谢谢谢。如果用这个的话，过滤的，过滤的就 By local standards, we're boring. We don't drink, we don't smoke. They've been trying to convince us to drink like this local moonshine or whatever it is for the past like 15 minutes, and we're like, no. And then eventually they brought out some beer, and they're like, have some of this. It's like, that's still alcohol. But if you're used to drinking hard liquor every day, then beer to you is just like juice.
We did, however, enjoy the snack tray.
I love these, they're so cool. It's like a pillow, but it's crispy.
We had a nice time in Longbang, but just wait until the next village.
Hello. 龙年大吉。
不是龙年。
我忘了。蛇年大吉。
This is Nanjing. It's inhabited by the Wa people, whose population is split pretty evenly between China and Myanmar. The Wa people are known for being headhunters. Back in the day. The Wa people of today are super friendly and will invite you for tea or snacks, or even to spend Chinese New Year together.
晚上我们这里要跳舞，今天开始到初六，我们这边都比较热闹。
There was an available room in her sister's guest house, so we decided we'll spend the next 3 days of Chinese New Year right here in Nanjing. They offered us some welcome snacks, peanuts with stripes on them, tamarind, and another version of the Chinese New Year sticky rice thing. It had a similar consistency to a mozzarella stick, but you dip it in sugar instead of tomato sauce. Right from our window, we could see that something interesting was going on. So we came out to investigate and discovered it's the same game we were watching this morning. These guys are practicing for a showdown with a nearby village on the 3rd day of the new year.
So we have now witnessed this game in 2 different villages, and even though we're on the same mountain, literally 30 minutes apart, they're still playing it a little bit differently. The guys here stand really far back and they throw the top like super far, so they miss most of the time. And now we're at the house of the lady who was sitting at the fire pit and was like, hey, come have some tea. Everybody here is like, have tea, have alcohol, have food, eat, drink.
这是鱼，是我老公煮的。
奶奶，你的衣服太好玩了，这件衣服就是美国那种大学生的运动服装，这个是。
As you can probably hear, the evening dancing is actually about to begin.
This is like the Chinese equivalent of a bagpipe? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. 新年快乐是 Happy New Year. Happy New Year. These kids are like, why'd you dye your hair? I'm like, it's not dyed. Uyghurs are also an ethnic group that loves dancing and dances at every single possible event. And even though the moves are a little bit different, they'll figure it out. You can go, get in there. The more people are in the circle, the harder it gets because it's so easy to accidentally run into someone. You have to get the moves down perfectly. They're going left and right and front and back.
The speaker is having technical difficulties, so everyone's just like awkwardly here, like, what do we do?
They have a different dance for every single song. This song, for example, only like 3 of the uncles know the moves to. The circle has dissolved into chaos. Finally, there's a dance that this uncle doesn't know.
The Wa people have a very, very broad taste in music and a seemingly infinite supply of dance moves. We could not keep up with them. We were relegated to the sidelines to just watch it all go down. While these people do kind of live out in the middle of nowhere, this place is not lacking in nightlife. They do not need any bars or clubs around here. All they need is a fire pit, a speaker, and some village moonshine, and they are good to go for hours on end.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of spooky being underneath the cloud blanket. Good morning, everyone.
It is the second day of the Year of the Snake. We spent it wandering around, drinking tea, and trying some more of the local cuisine.
It's this cold noodle dish, and it's so spicy. It's on the verge of being inedible. On the verge. Blah, blah.
Oh my god.
The second day is sandwiched between the two most important days, so everyone was either too tired from day one or saving their energy for day 3. Not much was going on. Most of the villagers were just chilling, except for the top guys, who prepared day and night for the next day's match.
They were at it the day we got here. They were at it first thing this morning, all day long, and now they're just going and going and going and going. But other than them, the village is actually quite quiet right now. A lot of people are just chilling, and honestly, so are we. Just having like a quiet night in. It is day 3 of Year of the Snake. We heard a ruckus going on, lots of gongs banging, lots of yelling, and we realized that the top competition is beginning. So we ran out here and we're gonna watch it all go down. Interestingly, on that table back there, there is a pig head. And we just asked one of the locals what that's for, and it's the prize for the winner. If you win this competition, you get to bring home a pig head. A bunch of people are wearing their local attire. We do not have such attire, but we're wearing attire from his ethnic group, which will pass, I guess. It's better than a t-shirt, right? 给大家看看你的民族服，可爱吧？
If you're curious about the bullhead emblem featured on many of these traditional clothes, it's a sacred symbol of the Wa people that represents wealth and power. This game is actually Wa versus Han, so if you want to know what side someone's playing on, check their outfit. Some of the guys have the full set, including a bull hat and bull pants.
So the competition just ended. Because it was hosted by this village provided the prize, which was the pig head from this morning's pig slaughter. And because the other team lost, this village keeps the pig head. If the other team had won, then they would have victoriously carried the pig head back to their village or put it in their trunk because, you know, this is 2025. This evening, there will be a potluck held on this basketball court.
This is where some food is being prepared for the potluck. Look at all the hot peppers. Half of the vegetable table is hot peppers. We were like, dang, you guys got a lot of peppers on this table. You really like spicy food. And they were like, food has to be spicy, otherwise we won't eat it. We don't want to eat non-spicy food. Like the way most people feel about salt, that's the way they feel about hot peppers. 那你们去别的地方吃饭怎么办？你们随身携带辣椒吗？
打工的话有携带，而且除了那个辣子素的。
They have it set kind of like a restaurant. There's all these individual tables, and each table is for one family here in the village.
And we are sitting with our host here at her table. Look at the banana leaf tablecloth. There's even an ant on it. This is so ecological. I don't know what word to use. There's an ant on the tablecloth. We're trying to help in what little way our useless selves can.
Look at this luxurious meal laid out here.
If y'all are curious what's on the table, this is shredded chicken porridge. This is cucumbers. This is radish and pork soup. This is pork blood soup, pork with hot peppers. This is cabbage. This is pork with some kind of other vegetable. Everywhere else I've celebrated Chinese New Year in, the big feast is on Chinese New Year Eve. Except here, the big feast is on the third day. Happy Chinese New Year, everyone.
As you can see from the few empty tables, they actually over-prepared for this meal. So if everyone at your table really loved a certain dish and finished it quickly, you could get seconds.
The porridge is the highlight of this meal. Not only is it not spicy at all, it's also super flavorful. It's not overwhelming. It's not overly salty. It's just like the perfect amount of flavor. It's really good. So our host actually just went into the kitchen and got us 2 more little cups of porridge.
Fresh. Amazing.
He's devouring the cabbage. We're on our second serving of cabbage as well over here. Next event of the night, dancing around a fire pit.
And that was our Chinese New Year experience on Jingmai Mountain. It was only a few days ago when Asajan and I showed up here knowing absolutely no one, knowing basically nothing about this region, and I cannot believe we met such incredibly friendly and hospitable people. Yunnan isn't exactly known for its Chinese New Year festivities, and some of these activities were a bit unconventional, but I have to say, these people really know how to have a good time. No matter how beautiful the scenery is, no trip to anywhere would be complete without connecting with some locals. So this was definitely an unforgettable Chinese New Year. Happy Year of the Snake, everyone, and I will see you next time.